Howdy, everybody. I hope everyone is having a good weekend so far. It's Sunday, 7:30 here in Eastern Time Conference, and I want to share with you something that I noticed on the Russell chart that is signaling something very strong in terms of bullish momentum that we're building right now. A pattern that I found in the years back, and what it's also indicating for Bitcoin. Okay, we know that there's a correlation with the interest rates and Russell. Interest rates will be coming down, so the Russell will be moving much higher, and the rotation from other indices like the SP 500, NASDAQ, uh, will slowly, one of those best performing stocks will fall into the Russell. So let's explore a little bit more in detail. So I'm on the weekly. What happened over here, and this was during the COVID situation, we saw it drop significant downside, redistribution here, checkbacks all the way into these upper previously all-time high support levels until we saw a beautiful V, sharp V um, correction, bullish reversal, checkbacks a few times along the way to redistribute, came down again for final one, and we went to a higher price again for a double top. I had looked at this double top in one of my videos and I had suggested that this is playing out and that we should see a correction. This was some time ago. So what happened after? We saw this V-shaped, this sharp V-shaped recovery. And right now, the last few weeks, we saw this check back in the previous higher levels, rise up. And so what I'm suspecting is that we might see either lift off or we'll see another check back like this and then we're off. Okay? I think this is more likely as a last scenario. But why am I saying this? Well, if we look back, 2020, we had a very similar pattern play out. Okay, we had this double top. It was close to a double top. Okay, huge correction, V-shaped recovery, check back a few times along the way, 3 times. Let's just say for the sake that it was 3 times. And then we saw a massive liftoff, so a massive move up, 50% up. Okay, incredible. Okay, very similar situation here. V-shaped recovery with a major move. It's not the type of shape recovery you see over here, which is smaller with longer consolidation. It was much steeper, much stronger with higher volume, bigger momentum. Okay, and now we're in the all-time high territory, similar to what happened over here. So I believe we're in the precipice of something similar, where we will have a major move ahead in the Russell. I do think the Russell does 30 to 50%. Going back, let's see what happened 2016. Very similar pattern, okay? We had a correction here. It dropped. It moved much higher. You had this consolidation. And then it just rallied further up. Okay, until it reached the highs in August 18. Now, what I found interesting was that during those times when the Russell did those massive moves, it also worked with Bitcoin together. I think the Russell with Bitcoin, especially ahead of Bitcoin, I think it sometimes moves much faster than Bitcoin. It shows us what's going to come for Bitcoin. So every time we saw a correction, notice, same as the V-shaped correction in April, the move higher in Bitcoin was awfully sharp, equally sharp as the IWM. Okay. And when that happened, Bitcoin went to all-time highs essentially. And in a very similar fashion, back in August 2023, which was the last check back in this rounding redistribution box, okay, we saw a much bigger move higher, V-shaped recovery. Okay. So I'm alluding to the percentage because every time we saw that unfold, Bitcoin really moved 40, 50, 60%, 70%, even more. So although I do think that the cycle, we might be coming towards the end, let's say in 3 to 6 months, I think it shouldn't be surprising if we see the Russell achieve a 30 to 50% higher, okay, in the 300 zone, let's say 350, okay, 340. It's safe to say that Bitcoin is going to do 70, 100%. I know right now everybody's thinking that we're already in the bear market. And markets have a very funny way of playing with our psyche. It's what we call a psyop, a psychological operation, where the markets really rattle people's perception of things. And it does so in a fashion, in a way that most people find it hard to believe otherwise because of the daily bombardment and the narratives and the experts that play out. But that's the job of the markets, to really persuade you to believe that you're at the top or persuade you that you're at the bottom, and in order for the opposite move to happen. So I think that over here, IWM looks amazing. I think that this is the time where you want to be aggressive with some long-term calls if you have some money lying around and you don't know where to invest. I think the IWM calls are cheaper than the other indices. And I really do think that when interest rates move down, we're going to see the Russell really take off. And I think the Russell is going to be in the news, and we're going to see much bigger moves coming in. So who knows? Let's see how the week unfolds, because looking at the rates now, we printed a little bit lower. This might be the sign that it has reached this resistance here, and that we're going to move lower, or we might just grind a little bit further up until we touch on the trend line and then see further correction. And I'm in the camp of the latter, really. I do think that rates have moved higher, but if they don't consolidate here, like I said, I think they're going lower. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I think the Russell is signaling something for Bitcoin, and I think we can easily see from here a 50%, a 50 to 70%. I would say 70% in Bitcoin. So 150, 155 shouldn't be unreasonable, especially if the Russell continues that consolidation. And if we see a check back like this, hey, the next second or third wave down should signal the bottom for the IWM to further launch upward. That's my thoughts, guys. Write it in the books. Let's see if it happens. That's my projection. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to check out next. I hope you have a good week. Thank you. Bye for now.